Today we're gonna be going through all the projectile weapons in the game, and that's gonna be sweet.
T-posing.
Okay. Let me turn off the voice changer.
Time to get serious, okay. We're gonna be going through all the weapons that are projectiles in the game. So we're not gonna be going through the melee weapons because it's a little bit more obvious on which ones are good and which ones aren't. Let's start off with the bows. So there's 4 bows in the game and 3 crossbows. So let's start with those. We'll also be taking into consideration though the materials, the range, the damage, the fire rate, etc. How about we go against the Electrobus? I mean, definitely not the Electrobus. It's not a Pokemon. So let's start with the old bow. Okay, that's okay damage, I suppose. That was a crit headshot. The reload time is pretty good. Now let's see what the firebow does. The same damage, but he's now on fire. Now, what you can see there, he's burning when he's on fire, right? And that burn is 33 damage. The thing is, when I was playing in hard mode, all my arrows were doing 1 damage, and the fire damage would do 33 damage. So if you're playing in hard mode, applying conditions like poison or fire, it really helps boost your damage if you're playing in hard mode where your weapons are not going to be doing as much damage, especially your bows against such bosses. Then the 3-shot bow, 1.5 times the damage of the single bow, of the single shot bow, but it's only taking 1 arrow per shot. So it's better in terms of damage if you have a high attack or if you're playing in a mode where you're doing more damage. Okay, so let's start rating. So as we just saw, old bow, it does okay damage. It's a good way to aggro some mobs even if you're playing in hard mode. I wouldn't put it anywhere above C. It's maybe even D tier, but I'll get to it in a bit. So damage wise is D tier. Fire rate is probably B tier. And yeah, a relatively old bow is pretty useless. It's very cheap to make though, so I would be making it and using it until I can get a better projectile weapon. Now, my next favorite option here is poison bow. I think poison bow is really good in terms of damage if you're playing in hard difficulty and not that great if you're playing in an easier difficulty. I would put it in the B tier just because the materials, the damage that it does in hard mode is actually very significant, and the materials are much easier to find than the firebow. The firebow requires flame organs, and while it may be easier to find during daytime fire Pokemon, at nighttime it's much easier to find venom glands. Also, you're gonna need those flame organs, because if we look at the technology required to make it, it requires flame organs, and its ammo takes flame organs. Same goes for the poison bow, but the poison bow venom glands are not really needed for much other items. So, and it's easier to farm at night because there's a bunch of dark Pokemon at night, whereas fire Pokemon, you really have to be going to a specific area and waiting for the respawn, so it might be more of a hassle to make it. Even though their damaging abilities are pretty much similar, even Firebolt might even do a little bit more damage, I would still put it a tier below poison bow. Then we have 3-shot bow, which if you're playing hard mode, it's D tier, but if you're playing regular mode, it's probably C tier because it's closer to the firebow in terms of what it can do. Okay, so those are the bows. Now let's move on to the crossbows. Crossbow, fire crossbow, and poison crossbow. So in order to make crossbows, you're going to be needing a lot of ingots, but they will be using arrows, which is really good. So you're going to be needing ingots and 15 ingots and 15 ingots. So fire crossbow, again, is the most expensive because it takes flame organs, together with poison arrow. Poison crossbow. Let's start with the regular crossbow. And as you can see, we already have 4 times as much damage as the regular bow. Reload time, I wouldn't say is that bad. and the damage is actually pretty good. Fire crossbow, again, is applying the fire damage effect, and the poison crossbow applies a poison effect. When you're getting poison and fire crossbow, it's much more easier for you to farm fire Pokemon because now you have access to some new areas. So it's not going to be as hard for you to get the fire crossbow as it would be to get the poison crossbow. And I would put the regular crossbow as tier below them. Again, we're not ranking them as compared to each other. We're effectively ranking them according to how useful they're going to be in the time where you're going to be able to craft them. Okay, so up next we have the Makeshift Handgun, Musket, and Handgun. These things start to do a lot of damage. For example, the Musket attack is 1000, and it also takes quartz ammo, which to make quartz ammo, even though you can farm this very reliably from Syndicate, it takes an ingot to make 5 of them. No, to make 10 of them. So it's not that expensive, but it also takes gunpowder, which means you need to find sulfur. Sulfur is relatively easy to find, so I don't think you're going to be having problem making gunpowder and quartz ammo. But you have to find out, of course, where the mines are. The musket holds 1 bullet, but it does 40k damage, okay, with a headshot. That's pretty good. You can tell that it's actually a very strong weapon. The problem with the musket is that it takes way too long to reload. Look at this. So in order to reload, then this is taking way too long. So it does good damage, but it takes too long to reload. The good thing about it is that its damage, it's very effective per piece of ammo. So if you don't have a lot of ammo and if you don't have a lot of resources, this is going to be really, really good for you. Then we have the Makeshift Handgun, which does about a quarter of the damage of the musket, but it holds 6 pieces of ammunition in it, and it reloads much faster. So in terms of DPS, it's going to be better. But in terms of ammo effectiveness, not as good. And then you have the regular handgun, which is even less efficient, because it has even less damage than the regular handgun. See, it does 9k, but it holds 8 bullets. So the damage is effectively the same as with the Makeshift handgun. It's a little bit lighter, and it uses handgun ammo. So for me, Makeshift handgun is better than actual handgun. It does take the same time to reload. It's rapid fire. It's a little bit faster when it comes to firing, though. But you don't want to be wasting shots anyway. So, in my mind, musket is very strong because it does so much damage. I would consider putting it in the S tier at this point. Then Makeshift handgun is also very good. It does more damage, but it's very heavy on resources. And I would probably put the handgun in the B tier, especially since it's so expensive to make. Comparatively, it takes 15 more ingots to make, and its ammo is going to be a lot more rare, in quotation marks. So I wouldn't prioritize the handgun over the Makeshift handgun. What I would do, now this is a tip that I can give you guys for this point in the game. There's this village that I found on Fisherman's Point on the bottom left of the map, where there's a vendor that actually sells ammo. So since we are talking about ammo and how rare it might be and how expensive it might be for you to actually get good ammo, this merchant right here, he will sell you ammo and a handgun if you want to. So you don't actually have to spend your gold ingots on that, which is actually pretty huge because it takes a lot of time to farm ingots to just waste it like that. So you can come here, purchase 10 ammo of that, purchase any ammo that you need, and that's actually really, really useful. So if you're using that, then it might even skew your preferences, right? Because now I can just use assault rifle ammo, but we'll get to that point later. This is my rating of them at this point. And now we're left with double barrel shotgun, single shot rifle, pump action, and assault rifle, and the rocket launcher. T-posing. Well, let's look at how expensive they are to make. Right after the handgun, you get the single shot rifle. Yeah, it requires refined ingot, which requires coal to make. And also its ammunition starts to be a lot more expensive. Same goes with a double barrel shotgun. So let's check it out. So double barrel shotgun, up close, it does crazy amounts of damage. One taps the boss. And it has 2 shots in it. Yeah, maybe we need to change a boss. Let's go to a different boss. Let's go to that one. Hello? Okay, well, that kind of suits us. Know why the boss backed. So the damage is pretty good. Let's compare it with what comes after it, which is the single shot rifle. So as you can see, from my understanding, is that the single shot rifle does more damage. But it takes a while to reload, but it is a lot more efficient when it comes to ammunition and cost. And in close range, the double barrel shotgun will do more damage. As you can see, it can do more damage, but you need to be up close to your enemy. So it's not very reliable, especially if you're playing in hard mode, where the bosses can very easily one-shot you. So then up next we have the assault rifle and the double barrel shotgun. No, sorry, the pump action shotgun. So let's do the pump action. What is the advantage of pump action is that even though it does the same damage as the double barrel, it holds 8 pieces of ammunition. So you can do a lot of bursts when you move in close. So this is a lot more reliable, and it can give you a playstyle where you go in, you do a bunch of damage, and then you get out. Comparatively with a double barrel shotgun that you go in, you do okay damage, but then you have to get out again, and a lot faster, so you are not doing as much damage. So comparatively, I would say that the double barrel is much worse than the pump action. Let's also look at the assault rifle, and then we'll rank these 4 weapons together. So as you can see, assault rifle is reloading very fast, and it can throw 20 bullets at a time. This is crazy strong when it comes to damage. The problem with it is that the ammo is quite expensive to make, so it takes 4 ingots to make 20 ammo, and it goes away in 0.5 seconds. So while it's very strong, it's also very expensive and hard to make. So let's rank this. I would start with a double barrel shotgun. I would put it in the A tier. The damage is really good for the point that you get it. It is quite efficient if you compare it with the handguns to resources taken to do that damage. What I don't like about it is only holds 2 shots, and you have to be in close range for them to do really good damage. So maybe I would even consider dropping it down to B tier, because you are putting yourself at risk, especially if you're playing in harder difficulties, and this is gonna get you killed many times, unless you're like an Elden Ring expert and this game is just a game to you. The single shot rifle, I would definitely put it in the A tier, maybe even in the S tier, because it's so much better than the Musket because of how fast it reloads. Let me get out of here because we're dying. Actually, it's okay. I don't have my heat armor with me because I dropped it to fully stack myself with weapons. So rifle damage is better than any other weapon damage that you can get when you unlock it, and it's very fast, it's very reliable, and it can also allow you to play from a distance and safely. So I really like it, but it's so expensive. Maybe because it's so expensive, I would put it in the A tier. And then pump action, I would also put it in the A tier, because while it does the same damage as double barrel shotgun, let's compare it to 20 and one. Actually, it does more damage than the double barrel shotgun. It holds 8 shots, and that's the weakness that the double barrel shotgun had. You can do 8 pieces of 8 shots and get out, reload, heal up, and then go back in again. Whereas with the double barrel shotgun, you go in, you put yourself at risk, and then you have to get out as soon as you go in. So not very reliable. Add reload time is not great for pump action, nor for double barrel, I would say. But this requires to refill 8 shots one by one, so it takes a while. And finally, we have the rocket launcher. Now, let's test out the rocket launcher. The ammo is quite expensive. Okay. So as you can see, damage-wise, it's the best one. But again, it has a big reload time. What I did notice about it is that, let's say that I fire something, as soon as I put in the rocket, if you barrel roll, it's considered loaded. So you can animation cancel the reloading speed and drop it down a little bit. So very good damage. It also sets the enemy on fire. I would say it's the best weapon in the game by far. So for me, it's S tier. You don't even have to talk about that. Now, you're level 49, you've been farming for a long time. Metal ingot is much easier to make than refining ingot, because you only need palladium, which you can get from stone if you have a crusher. So it's cheaper. It takes longer to make, so you're gonna need a good fire Pokemon on your improved furnace. But other than that, really, really good. And of course, the production lines are going to cost you 100 Palmetal ingots that create these weapons, but I think it's worth it. For sure, it's worth it. It's a huge upgrade. So now let's do the grenades. So we have the frag grenade that does 750. You have the ice grenade that does 750, the incendiary grenade, and the shock grenade. Conclude. Frag grenade, C tier. It's easy to make, it's reliable damage, but it's not very good in terms of utility. Shock grenade is amazing in terms of utility because shocking the enemy can also make a Pokemon easier to catch. Incendiary grenade and ice grenade, even if this catches the enemy on fire, it's not enough to justify the cost, in my opinion. It's okay. It's not too great. And then ice grenade, if it can freeze the enemy, is S tier, but I haven't managed to get an enemy frozen by them, so I'm gonna put it in the same tier as the incendiary grenade. So yeah, that's my tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want a tier list regarding melee weapons or anything else in the game, let me know what you want to see. Thank you for watching. It would be really nice if you could like and subscribe and show your support to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.